Hello, thank you. Thank you so much, Tia. And thanks to the Sachs team. And welcome everyone to this keynote. I would like to talk a bit about EIT Health and how we basically impact the European healthcare landscape and how we can help you with healthcare investments. So first of all, we are strengthening healthcare systems in Europe. That's one of our major goals at EIT Health. We are promoting better health of citizens, but focusing on today's event. We are contributing to a sustainable health economy in Europe. And how do we do that? You might have known or might have seen already, EIT Health has a strong presence all over Europe. We have regional offices and staff members all over Europe. We have a strong partnership supporting that, and that partnership includes representatives from industry, academia, healthcare providers, payers, research, incubators, cities and regions. And in all of those aspects, we have the top leaders all over Europe. So you really can say, and we are proud to say, that EIT Health is the strongest and largest healthcare initiative worldwide. If we look into the last year, so every year I'm presenting some numbers at the Sachs Forum, but 2020 certainly was an extremely successful year from our perspective. We have supported more than 500 companies, and those companies that we have supported have raised more than 300 million euro, according to our preliminary numbers that we have so far. Still digging deeper, but very proud to say that. And one of our outstanding success stories, Sparing Vision, with Florence, they have raised 44.5 million euro last year, and they have been the 2019 Health Catapult winner in the biotech category. So a good signal and a good hint that it makes sense to look at our Health Catapult winners every year. What do we do at EIT Health? We provide access to knowledge, access to stakeholders, access to market, and very important today, access to investors and funding. In our EIT Health supply chain, we pick up companies early stage. We take them from university, postdocs, PhDs, researchers, help them building their business plans. So that's the early stage, the incubate phase. We have our scale-up activities where we help them to grow, where we provide them visibility, where we provide access to investors. We help them to enter new markets. You know how fragmented the European healthcare market is, especially if you look on reimbursement systems. So we help them to enter new markets through our vast partnership and network. And of course, we help them to validate along the whole supply chain and along the whole line. I'd like to take out a couple of examples. I'm not able to explain the whole portfolio to everyone. Maybe some of you already have heard that and got different insights, but I want to provide a couple of new aspects that you might not have heard so far. So Gold Track is one of our top programs where we immediately provide a global insight. You might know some of these ladies and gentlemen here. Some of them are even participating at that conference as a speaker or as a regular guest since many years. Some others are also very well known. So this is the expert council of our Gold Track. And these ladies and gentlemen invite companies to pitch in that Gold Track workshop that we have 3 times per year. And the best companies, the companies they like the most, will be picked up and will be personally mentored by them, supported by a strong team placed in Boston, placed in Europe, and of course, accessing a strong network of additional key experts, key opinion leaders. So that is certainly one of our flagship programs for just a handful, but very strong companies. Bridgette is another very strong program where we facilitate our partnership, our network. So the idea is that we provide funding. We first select companies, we provide them 30, 40,000 euro. And with that money, they can access services at one of our catalyzers. So usually startups have to apply with catalyzers. This time we turn it around. So startups apply with us, and then the catalyzers also apply with the startups that have the money from us. We are opening that up so that also companies from abroad that bring their own money can join, but the basic idea remains the same. And the idea is that we provide individualized guidance to navigate local regulatory and reimbursement systems in all the target markets. But beyond that, of course, we also facilitate access to the local networks through those catalyzers, as we call the local clusters, accelerators, and incubators, facilitate access to infrastructure in that new market. And we provide, as I already said, some funding to the startups. We have started in 2016 with a pilot in Bridgette, 2018 with a pilot in Bridgette Europe, where we supported companies to enter other European markets. So for example, a Scandinavian company would enter the French or German market through one of the catalyzers. And since 2020, we have expanded that also to global markets so that companies can, through our European catalyzers and their network partners in other continents, can access those other additional markets. Just to demonstrate you, we have selected and vetted very outstanding catalyzers all over Europe that help companies to go European. And we have done the same on an international scale, on a global scale, so we can provide access for startups to all those regions. Now I'm looking a bit and want to take you on that journey in our investment ecosystem and in our investment tools or access to finance instruments. We have started with the investor network. That was our first activity where we created local investor roundtables in each of our regional offices. So we have one investor roundtable in the German DACH region. We have another one in France. We have a Scandinavian investor roundtable. So usually investors meet in person. Now that also is happening online, of course. And right now we have online startup pitches of companies that we have positioned in the investor network platform. That's really an online platform where you can access information about the startups. You can screen them before you get in touch with them, or you can just go to the investment pitches. Crowdfunding was the second initiative that we have started. So a pan-European crowdfunding platform that allows startups to collect money from private citizens all over Europe. Initially, we had started with a pure private citizen investment crowdfunding platforms through a special purpose vehicle. Now we developed a bit further together with our partner Esquivest. Esquivest has now put a first professional investor placement. So professional investors provide their investments first at a discounted rate, and then we bring that to the European private citizens. And the last thing, and I want to dig a bit deeper there, is our Venture Center of Excellence. I kept you updated over the last 2 years in the SAX Forum events about the progress. Has been quite a journey, but we now have achieved a point of time where I think we can talk about a real success story. And Sandra Ferry actually has in the previous session, or one of the previous sessions, also outlined a bit what the overall outcome is. So in 2020, end of 2020, basically like a late Christmas present, the Sustainable Development Umbrella Fund for health with its health compartment had its first closing. So the European Commission formally approved the 75 million euro investment coming from the European Commission. And following that, on a second step, we had the EIF called for expressions of interest for venture capitalists. You might have seen that on January 6th. There was a very nice announcement that European VCs, and as Sandra has pointed out, it's not only the very mature, already very well-known ones. It's also an idea for emerging and new VCs in that field of life science to get onboarded and to get invited to that community to have some special access to great companies from all over Europe. So there is that call launched on the EIF platform. If you want to get part of the Venture Center of Excellence, please just get in touch with the colleagues at EIF, myself, Jean-Marc Bourret, our head of the VCE, and we would be happy to get you onboarded for that instrument. And last but not least, I had the pleasure, together with Jean-Marc, to sign the EIT Health EAF Cooperation Model Agreement. And now we really have put it in place. We are setting up the structures, and we are looking forward to get the first companies into that instrument. What's the idea? The idea is that we leverage corporate investments together with private investments. These are the corporate investors that have demonstrated some interest in our Venture Center of Excellence. And the idea is that we put corporate investors together with private investors, private VCs, and leverage that through EAF funds. That's the companies that we have identified for the moment. That's the top 3 companies per biotech, medtech, and digital health category across our regional offices all over Europe. You will recognize some of them. That was the VCE, the Venture Center of Excellence. Now, just to wrap this part up, if you are interested in that, either as a startup yourself, there are also some startups at that conference, or as an investor, if you're invested in a company that would benefit from Bridgette, from GoldTrack, from one of our activities, that's the timelines where startups can apply. And you might notice that most of the application deadlines end at March 16th. So there is not much time to go, just a week left for that deadline, but I think exactly the right time to get prepared for a proper submission of an application. So if you think there was, you have some companies or you know some companies that might be interested, please make them aware, just a week left to apply for our programs. Now I would like to tap a bit deeper into this very special topic. This morning, we had a great meeting with Commissioner Maria Gabriel. She has pointed out and has introduced that exactly a year ago, she has launched the Crisis Response Initiative just after the pandemics has started and has created huge impact also on the European ecosystem. And that was one of the first times where EIT and EIC were already strongly collaborating to work together. Today, it was a joint event organized by EIT and EIC to show the results and impacts of this joint effort, and was really impressive. You might remember that we at EIT Health have created the rescue instrument where we saved 11 companies, more or less. We got hundreds of applications, strong companies, all of them with a value of more than 5 million euro, all of them with a fundraising round of minimum 1 million euro that could not be concluded due to the pandemics because investors, like you all know, kept their money back for their own portfolio companies, especially in the months of March, April, May. We saw a lot of catch-up investments later on, but in those early months, we saw that no investments into new companies were happening. And through our crisis response initiative, financed by the European Commission, we could help to conclude 11 of these rounds of top companies, and many of them are present here at the SAX Forum again. But there is not just the crisis response initiative that we had kicked off and started together. There is much more. There has been a launch for a call for a pilot of collaboration between EIT and EIC. And part of that pilot is a joint investment journey. So you might imagine that a startup comes at EIT Health through investor network, gets some first fundings, and then wants to access EIC funding, and back then wants to get into the Venture Center of Excellence. That's a joint investment journey that we want to develop. Or, for example, an EIC company that has now enough funding from EIC, but would like to tap into the network of EIT Health to access the markets. So one of the core ideas is to create fast tracks. And we are pretty confident that we will be able to implement the first fast track for companies within EIT Health towards the EIC Accelerator until the June deadline. but it certainly will be restricted to companies that we already know. For example, the winners of the Health Catapult. That might be one option. So we're looking into that, and there is a strong commitment to create that fast track between EIT and EIC. A very strong move and a very strong step forward. A second topic is that we also want to create joint programs and better alignment of the programs. But that is all part of the pilot between EIT and EIC, starting hopefully in June, July. But we are very concrete and have very, very strong progress today. So great success story to share with you. First time that I share that on a conference. And I'm looking forward to share some updates and insights in the upcoming months in the next sessions. This is the companies, just to give you a reminder, the rescue companies that we had selected last year also at a SAX conference and at a SAX forum. And some of them will be with us today again. A little highlight for me was the last not even personal event, because the moderator, Marianne van Kampen, and I myself, we have been in different countries while we were standing on the same virtual stage. So it was a fully virtual conference, but it was an amazing experience to still have the Health Catapult event taking place with a huge visibility. Also, Commissioner Gabriel was joining the awarding ceremony. Here we can see also Niklas Holmberg from NASDAQ. And these were the semifinalists and winners of this Health Catapult. I really would recommend you to check them out and talk to them. The Alex Kasta Audience Award winner, selected by the audience, 1,000 people that were, or EIT Health partners, not just random people, EIT Health partners that have been watching that summit have selected Magda and her company, Uvera, for the Audience Awards. A very special moment for everyone, but especially for Magda. And one of the highlights was Magda got her company logo displayed at the New York Times Square at the NASDAQ Tower. So thanks again to Adam and Niklas to make that happen and to contribute to the Health Catapult this way. Then there is one final thing I really would like to present you. I think I also did not present that so far in a SAX forum, but that's an amazing new tool that we have developed. If you just enter startups.eithealth.eu and register, so you have to register to have full access, but it's free of charge. Then you have access to all our companies that we have supported so far. More than 1,000 companies filtered by program that they have participated, but you will also see the financing and funding rounds, you see the valuation, you see the launch days, you see the development of the employees, you see the type of area they are active in. So really an amazing instrument. And I would suggest to you, just enter startups.eithealth.eu, create an account, or if you have already a deal room account, you can just log in and check it out. Best way ever to identify the EIT Health deal flow. If you want to be in touch with a couple of them, there are these companies are present today in the SAX forum. I would like to suggest to you to schedule a meeting, get on a one-on-one with them. They're amazing companies. Some of them have been part of the Go track. Some of them have been part of Rescue. Some of them have been part of many other programs. So check them out. I wish you good luck. I wish you a lot of fun, but most important, I would like to wish you to meet the right people, to meet the right companies, make the right investments, stay healthy, take care, talk to you soon. Thank you so much.